start off with saying, first of all, I'm thankful for everybody here. I know a lot of these people that are sitting before me have had a lot to do with where I am now, and I think that's pretty cool for many years coming. So I'm glad to be here with you all. Also, I think it's pretty cool that God brought my parents to Hill Country Baptist, I think about 12 years ago now. Thank you. Because I don't know where I would have been if I hadn't found this church, so just grateful for that too. I guess I'll start off by saying, before I came to know the Lord, which I think was about late middle school, early high school, I was just very, I didn't like to think about the future. I often actually was intimidated by the thought of heaven because, by the grace of God, I actually really enjoyed my childhood, and I thought, why would I want to go somewhere else? But that changes, and it did for me, and I started to see some things that weren't so great in life, and I kind of wondered why. And I grew up going to JV. It was called JV back then, not too far back, but with Glenn Kane, who did a lot of the speaking when I was in middle school, and I would blame a lot of my knowledge on him right now, so that's also someone I'm thankful for. But I went to a Christian school up until 8th grade, and then in 9th grade I made the leap to a somewhat public school. It still had a lot of Christian people in it, but I saw a lot, which was cool. And I started to struggle with some different things in my life. I'm an only kid, and I was often home alone trying to keep myself disciplined and doing school. I only went to school twice a week, so a lot of it was on me, and I found myself not keeping up with the Bible reading that I should have, and the Bible reading that I was encouraged to. So I started slacking on that a bit, and I noticed probably what would have been considered depression during that time. I was very not filled with hope, and very much enjoyed being around you all, and I loved the things related to church, and I loved the Lord when I thought of him, but I didn't really apply anything that I had learned to my life. So I would say later in high school, I was faced with some friendships falling apart that kind of, as people do, they drift. By habit, I was holding closer to the things of church and things I had grown up with, and some other friends chose not to. So I had started to see that I was choosing more things than just, no, I was going to church because I wanted to, not just because I had to, and that started to separate me from some of my pretty close friends. So as I started to realize that I was making these decisions on purpose, and once I got my license, I would decide to go to church even if my parents missed on a Sunday for whatever reason. It started to become more clear that I was actively deciding to participate in things that related to church, but it was a lot of that foundational knowledge in middle school and high school that allowed me to, only in the last couple of years recently, apply it so much because I had to. Life threw me some, God threw me some things that definitely have been growing me, and have not only showed me that I can't rely on people as much as I did before, but also that even while I was relying on people, it was ultimately because God had put them in my life. And he has changed some relationships with family members and people in my life to show me that he is who I should be relying on more than ever. And that has been incredibly hard, and also really, really hard to explain in a good way. To come to terms with the faith that you once did only because you had to, for lack of better words. I wrote some things down because I tend to get nervous in front of people. So, yeah, I'd say I've been getting closer, I think, to some of the younger girls in the younger ones in like middle school, and that's been really fun. Being a junior high leader, because my junior high leaders were so big in my life. But I just wanted to say that's, for me, that was the time in my life when I really, I was starting to think about things more on my own, and I wanted to do what was right, but I didn't know why yet. So it took a lot of, again, the foundational knowledge to just keep taking it in. And I can say without a doubt that my parents were praying for me a lot, and I know some other people too. So it's truly not by my own doing. So it's hard to come up here and say, because it's not something I did. But I did want to read Philippians 4:8 through, actually 4:4 through 9, because I found that to be helpful lately. It says, "Rejoice in the Lord always. Again, I will say, rejoice. Let your reasonableness be known to everyone. The Lord is at hand. Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything, by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God, and the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Finally, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is commendable, if there is any excellence, if there is anything worthy of praise, think about these things. What you have learned and received and heard and seen in me, practice these things, and the God of peace will be with you." And I would say to that, for the youngers who are probably definitely still learning to make decisions for themselves and choose to seek after the Lord, and sometimes to choose not to, I think I would just encourage you to practice running to Jesus now. I started doing it later than I would have hoped when I look back at it now, but I'm still young, so that's okay. But just even at the slightest inconvenience, when you just have a frustrating day or something, just learn to take it to God and pray about it, and just practice going to Him first, because it changes the way you think about things and people. And I know it's helped me grow in my patience and love for others, and understanding that God has given me enough grace that I will never be able to repeat it, but it's encouraging to know that because of how much He's given to me, I can try my very best. So yeah, he's growing me a lot in these last couple of years, and I know some of you know more about that than others, but it's a long story. I guess I wanted to finish by saying, I've been learning that God shows us often how much we need Him when our lives don't go as planned. And that's something I didn't understand until not too long ago. So for those who maybe it doesn't sort of click yet, or you're not too sure, God already knows it all, and He brings things into our lives, each of us for different reasons, and He has a plan for us. And I'm grateful to be here and for the grace that has brought me here. So yeah, I don't know what to do now.